Bonus appearance, John. Ted, thank you for coming on. Two men that are one with the earth.
Well, I think Ted, good morning. John
Good
Riggins?
morning to you.
How you doing?
I'm doing good, man.
Where you calling in from?
I'm in Omaha, Nebraska.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, I was out deer hunting last night, man. I'm feeling good.
Okay, because I thought we don't want to hold you up because it probably, well, it's just about 7 o'clock. The sun just came up out there. I thought you might be wanting to get into the woods.
Well, you know, I've got a few back straps hanging in the barn right now, Captain. It's been a great season. I'm either getting to be a good shot or I'm luckier than hell this year, but the spirit of the wild is strong and free and alive and well in Ted's world, and the Nugent family gave thanks just a few days ago, and we had venison for Thanksgiving, and damn if I didn't shoot that booger with my own bow and arrow, and I feel special about it, man.
Well, that's good to know. When's your next concert?
Tomorrow night.
Oh, really? You're on tour right now?
Well, actually, we're doing the baptism by fire tomorrow night here in Omaha. The Damn Yankee tour begins here tomorrow, and we go right up until next hunting season. Then I stop.
All right. Well, listen, Ted. Next hunting season. That's like what? About a week away?
Well, no, I've been hunting since the 1st of September. In fact, I've been hunting since the 1st of September, 1948. But I take the whole hunting season off, and even though there's a little bit of hunting season left, actually there's hunting to be had in North America year-round. There's always some type of season open. So when I'm on the road, I take my bow and arrow and some of my different firearms with me, and I go out hunting. Nearly every day that I'm on the road, I'll go out with one of my Ted Nugent World Bow Hunter directors or one of my members or a buddy or a family friend. So even when I'm touring, man, I get out there and kind of shut up and get off the concrete jungle roller coaster and get back to the little bit of silence to get me ready. That's why my guitar solos are so damn sexy. Is because when the rest of the guys are ordering room service and hanging out at the pool, I'm up in a tree watching, the geese come through or watching coyotes run the ridgelines.
You must be hell on airport security, Ted. You come in there, you got a full bow, quivers, all kinds of rods in there.
Greasman, I am airport security.
Yeah, man.
No, it's kind of cute. It's kind of cute, too, because, I do travel with all that stuff because it's what I've done my whole life. And I think it's important to note that in 1993, young Tedley will be 44 Magnum years old. And while there were dozens and dozens of my so-called peers, though I have better descriptions for them, and they would make fun of me for traveling with my bows and arrows, and they would make fun of me for going hunting, and they would make fun of me for not taking cocaine with them and trying to be groovy and trendy and seeing which body part I wanted to pierce this week, and they would make fun of me for not getting drunk, and they would make fun of me for not smoking dope. Meanwhile, those worthless worm meat scum masters are dead, and I'm still Ted. So I'd like to think that I'm the wise one.
I can't argue with that.
I noticed.
I think that pretty much says it all.
I think so. Well, that's the bottom line. People try to criticize hunting, and I don't know whether I should laugh or throw up. Bottom line is, if a person chooses not to hunt, well, that's perfectly natural and normal because there's always been hunters and there's always been gatherers. But quite honestly, if a person is against hunting, a person is unnatural. To be against hunting is unnatural, and to spit in the face and deny the natural cycles. Hunting is not an option. Hunting is an absolute necessity because conservation practices insist a hands-on management policy so that we can monitor and intelligently conserve the resource of wildlife, and that's what hunting is all about. It is not about some overweight, inbred, tobacco-chewing farter that likes to shoot stop signs. That's not what hunting is. The media in this country has done an embarrassing, irresponsible job of depicting and lying about the family hunters of this country, because I'll tell you, there are over 70 million hunting families that hunt and fish and enjoy themselves outdoors and harvest the natural resources from the land for their own sustenance. And anybody got a problem with that is just plain goofy.
Yeah, I read an article last week. In fact, it was in the Post, I believe it was, about somebody and that they had grown up hunting, and now they were out and they were talking about how they're getting ready to make the shot, and they did. Of course, they were shooting it with a camera, and they were saying that that they didn't believe in it, and you didn't need to do this. And the part I was wondering, Ted, and I think you shed a little light on it. Maybe you can give us a little bit more because I don't think I'm quite understand it as much as you do. But they said, I think they used Fire Island as the example in New York, where there's about a steady population of about 200 or 300 head of deer. And it's always been my contention, and I think what I understand about it is that actually that hunters help control the population somewhat of the game animals that they have. But they were saying, no, that's not true, that the game animals will level off at a certain number as per the habitat dictates.
Well, sure, and that's absolutely true. But let me tell you what the alternatives are. To hunt and to harvest them based on proven scientific equations of sustained yield and population dynamics based on individual species. And it's been proven all over the globe. Otherwise, for example, just in my home state of Michigan, we would not be able to harvest, that is, kill over 400,000 deer a year during the hunting season, yet still we lose in excess of 50,000 a year on the highways, resulting in over 10 human fatalities every year. My point being that if you don't partake in your natural role as predator and oversee the game, then the alternatives are disastrous. Yes, they will level off after they have experienced extreme cases of inbreeding, parasitic infestation such as brainwort and heartworm and lungworm, and then they die a slow, agonizing death. Meanwhile, while the cycle of population, particularly of white-tailed deer, peaks, the farmers and motorists have a serious complication. The farmers lose millions of dollars worth of crops, and the motorists die. In America, on an average year, between 130 and 150 human fatalities result from car deer accidents. My supposition is that the anti-hunting people literally want that human fatality number to increase, because yes, they will level off, but after a massive die-off of game, and not just deer, guys. Remember, if the deer eat out their own habitat and overgraze their own habitat, then flowers and butterflies and songbirds and rabbits and woodchuck and all kinds of biodiversity takes the plunge. And people have to acknowledge that. It is not just a simple little fantasy world based on some Walt Disney script out there named Bambi. The reality of it is that the result of mismanagement and hands-off ignorance is catastrophic, and the sportsmen of this country will not let that happen. We want to see healthy deer populations, and the way you have healthy deer populations is by taking a conscientious participation in a hands-on management policy. If you'd like to see horror, and if you'd like to see something ugly and sad, come with me into the swamp some spring where there has not been any hunting, and count the thousands of starving deer that will take 3 or 4 months to finally die, and they will die. And sportsmen who really care will not stand by and let that ignorance be a management policy.
I'm kind of shocked that there are even deer at Fire Island. I heard that. I didn't think deer can survive there with all the distracting noise you have.
Get down there, boy.
Did you deer hunt at Fire Island?
I'd be willing to. Actually, I understand they were having a problem with deer, and they've got a choice. They can either call Orkin or call Ted.
Yeah, man. Ted Nugent is sponsoring Hunters for the Hungry, designed to make it possible to collect and distribute game meats donated by hunters for the purpose of supporting the needy families of Maryland. Program's an extension of last year's effort by Ted Nugent World Bow Hunters Maryland chapter, which collected over 500 pounds of meat donation.
Isn't that neat?
It is the best. So in conjunction with the Maryland Food Bank, they're going to be accepting donations of cut and wrap wild game. All persons donating in good faith are protected by the Good Samaritan law. However, we do ask that you please use extra care in the processing of the meat to avoid the possibility of tainting.
And it's the greatest meat in the world, man. That's all my family and I eat. We've never bought any domestic meat. We just eat what I kill myself. And man, am I healthy or what?
I mean, you're doing backflips. You don't drink, you don't take drugs.
Never have.
But you must have a lot of time on your hands. I know when you don't do anything, you get a little... Well, you're out in the woods, I guess, right?
Yeah, I got a lot of time on my hands. I run a camp for kids. I raise 4 kids myself. I got 3 teenagers. Yeah, I got all kinds of times, man. I just sit around the pool eating bonbons. I published my own magazine. I've written a book lately. I've got 2 bands. The damn Yankees are going on tour. I'm rehearsing with the Ted Nugent Band right now because we're getting ready to do a holiday tour. And I'm busier than a 4-headed hound dog and a hot bear stink, but I'm having the time of my life.
That's great, Ted. Well, continued success, and thanks a million for coming on with us. I appreciate it.
Well, it's a special time of year, and I got some hunting buddies in your neck of the woods, Grease, and these are real dedicated guys. They're working hard, playing hard guys that are trying to do what's right. And if anybody wants information or wants to help feed the hungry, I mean, a dented can of green beans is real nice, but boy, when you take down some fresh venison to these folks, you can really see a sparkle in their eye. And I'd like to give out a phone number if anybody'd like to get a hold of my crew down there.
Sure.
I got some hunting buddies. Chris Gammy lives over in Thurmont, Maryland there, and Ben McLeod is right in your neck of the woods. And anybody that wants to call Chris, they can call him right in area code 301, and they can call Chris at 271-2799. And I got a second number here.
Roger.
Chris Gammy is also available at 694-8411. And these guys, who could have a problem with sharing the bounty of the land, particularly during the holiday seasons when the crops are coming in and the families are celebrating with dead turkeys and delicious food with their family. There's nothing better than venison. So give Chris Gammy or Ben McLeod a call, And Ted Nugent World Bow Hunters and all the hunters of this country are trying to do something good for the hungry, and I just feel real good about it.
Thanks, Ted. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Ted.
Ted Nugent, everybody. All right, Ted, we'll look forward to keeping up with you. Keep us posted, okay?
I'll do my best.
Good done.
Thanks, buddy.